I think we all have those phrases that just make us feel something. Maybe they give us like a gut punch, or they give us goosebumps, or tear us up. Today, I want to share with you 2 phrases that I often remind myself of, that I've just been pondering on, and they make me think, and I just want to share them with you. I think it's going to be so good. So number 1, the first one I love to remind myself of is that God is always in full pursuit of me, of my heart, and his desire is for me to be whole and healed and filled with joy. Okay, that's number 1. I feel like that could have gone on, but you get it. Okay, number 1. And number 2, I love this phrase, my soul is healed through union with God. We're going to talk about these. I don't know. It might be 2-3 weeks. We're just going to unpack them. We're going to have fun with this. It's going to be good. I'm so glad you are here. Hi, and welcome. If you are new here, my name is Shelly, and you have found me at the Joyfully Made podcast, and we are all about embracing our God-given identity, finding that purpose. Oh my goodness, let's find that joy. And I like to keep it real. I love real talk because we live through real life, and Jesus is so real. So I love to keep it all real. Okay, I am so glad you are here, and if you are coming back, thank you. I kind of missed hanging out with you guys. I did take a little break. I think last time I showed up was maybe August 9th, so this is coming out September 6th. Oh my goodness, so many mixed emotions around it. If you did not watch the last one, my daughter got married August 23rd. Oh my goodness, that was a week ago yesterday. And I probably cried for about 3 days straight. My daughter is 21 and she's really, truly my best friend. And the last 4 years, her and I have just had the opportunity to grow really close. And it was really hard for me, not to mention my husband and I are now empty nesters. So, at one point we were sitting on the couch and we're like, dude, nobody's coming home. Like, what do we do with that? But on the flip side, I am now in her spare bedroom, which I'm hoping it doesn't sound echoey as I'm talking. I'm like, oh, I might need to get some stuff on the wall. I'm more excited to have like some space, so I'm not always trying to squeeze into everything. Anyways, I will share photos once we get like the photos back, because I think it'll just be hard for me to slice in a whole bunch of like verticals and everything. Okay, so sit tight. I mean, you can always stalk me on Facebook, add me as a friend. That's fine. I'm Shelly Shulke over there. And then you can see photos. Okay, so, I have been working on something for you guys. I am so excited. It's pinned in the comments. So I created a sheet and it has 10 declarations on it, and they are for us. And not only is there just declarations that I know will be meaningful to you because they are meaningful to me, but each declaration comes with a verse. It is beautiful. It's actually so pretty. I got my friend to help it. She's amazing. And if you need help with that kind of thing, let me know because I can hook you up. Anyways, it's pretty. Like, you're going to be able to print it off. You could frame it, put it by your bed. You could hang it on your fridge. Like, girls, we need to get this crap through our head. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I want you looking at that every day, and then the verse. And then before you know it, you're not only going to be like continually declaring these amazing things over yourself, you're going to be memorizing verses. Okay, so again, that's pinned in the comments. You can click on that, and the download will get sent to you. You can print it out. You can have the download wherever you want it. And if you don't have a printer, just because maybe some of you don't, go to your local office supply store, Staples here in Canada, and they will print it out for you. You could even get it printed on like a nice cardstock. It's honestly so pretty. And then of course it has the pink rose, right? And the Psalm 139. It's so good. I'm really excited about that. Okay, so, and if you have not yet, please do the like and the subscribe. And oh my gosh, feel free to comment, like as much as you want. I'm always going to reply. And yeah, share it with somebody if you think it will mean something to them. Okay, let's get started. Because honestly, my whiteboard is full of notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, should I have made this into 2 episodes? I don't know. I'm hoping I don't like talk your ear off for hours. I'm going to do my best. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the heart and the soul, right? Our soul is healed through union with God. God is always pursuing us. What does that look like? What does that mean? We're going to get into that. I'm really excited, but first, we're going to pray. All right. Oh, Jesus, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the break that you gave me and these other ladies, and I hope that we all had an amazing summer. Thank you. Thank you that in the summer we get to experience so much beauty. I mean, not that it's not beautiful in winter, but I'm a fan of the flowers and the green leaves and the green grass. I'm so grateful to be here and just help my words to be yours and just speak to these women, whatever it is you want to speak to them, and just bless this time together. In your name I pray. Amen. Okay, so again, like I was saying, we are going to talk about the heart, the soul health, like I'm sure you can just think of scriptures, it's always love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your mind, right? Like heart and soul, actually, if you search up verses, they're connected a lot of the times. And that is because they are meant to be in sync with each other. So I actually really started marinating on that. And I was like, okay, what does this mean? And I went into ChatGPT. Don't judge me. And I don't got anybody else. So I went into ChatGPT and I was just it was amazing. Some great conversations. Now I'm just sounding really weird. Okay. Again, it was good. I got so much good out of it. I'm going to share with you. So let's get started. One of my first things that I think of when I think of my soul, or just being in union with God, right? My soul is healed through union with God. When I think of union, I think of this. I think of 2 hands coming together and holding hands, like you're literally intertwining fingers. My favorite current passage that I love to think of when I think of that is John 15, where Jesus is saying, I am the vine, you are the branch. Without me, you can do nothing. So honestly, in my morning prayers, when I pray, I am always consecrating my heart and soul. And I literally just pray, Jesus, just align me again with you as the vine is to the branch. So when I think of union, that is the image that I think of. I'm also, when we talk about how God's pursuit and his goal for us is for us to be whole and healed and walking in this space of not walking in a wounded space. Remember, we talked about parking at our pain, not having all of these things that we don't want there, that we don't know what to do with. His desire is, he doesn't want us to live in that space. I don't want to live in that space anymore, right? So I think of Psalm 1 when he talks about being a tree planted along a riverbank, right? Bearing fruit in all season. Again, we're going to have union there. What are our roots in? Our roots are going to be in our union with him. And the result would be, again, the fruit. When you are like that tree planted along a riverbank, it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, you're going to bear fruit. So I think to dive more into this, I actually was okay, what is the difference between my heart and my soul? How does this work? So I love the concept of the heart. Well, it's not even a concept. It just is. The heart is the control center. The heart is the will. It's the desire. It's the longing. It's the place where you make decisions from. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for it determines the course of your life. Okay, whoa, guard your heart. We need to take care of our heart because everything we do comes from there. It's our control center. And we talked a couple of episodes ago about like our heart beliefs, right? So if we have heart beliefs that are not based on God's truths, if we have wounds in there that need to be healed, those wounds, those roots, they're going to affect what's coming out of us. They're going to affect how we see the world. They're going to affect how we bring things in. Remember, we talked about that, like having like an umbrella or a filter over us. Okay, so that's the heart. The heart is what is like deciding everything, which is like a little bit scary. Like, I'm not going to lie, like some frustrating things over the last couple of weeks. And can I just be completely honest? Don't judge me. When I get frustrated, that potty mouth comes out. Like it does. Like my mouth needs a filter. And I'm just like, whoa, God, like, what is this? Why am I so triggered? Why am I so like, what is this? And I have to step back and I'm like, okay, like this is coming from my heart. Like what is in my heart that sends me to this point of like, bleh. Obviously I'm not going to say it, but you know what I mean. Yes. So again, this is why we want that healthy heart. And that is God's plan for us. We don't want to be walking around wounded. Okay. And then the soul, again, conversation with ChatGPT here. Okay. So the soul is described as our life breath. It is our life force. Our soul is like our very identity. It encompasses everything and who you are. So if you think of, if the heart is the wellspring, then the soul is the river. It's what's flowing out of us. Like it said in Proverbs 4:23, whatever is in your heart is going to affect your life. Do you see the importance of allowing God that pursuit to come in, to work through those heart beliefs, all of those things? Our soul is healed through union with God. And this is why, because when we have union with God in our hearts and we're working through those things, it then flows out. And like essentially we should be living, and I would think that we would then be living as Christ did. And that is, what we're called to do. And honestly, like I want to. I don't want to be, again, like I keep saying it. I don't know how else to say it, but I don't want to walk around like a half of a shell of a person. I want to be whole. I don't want to get triggered to the point where I'm dropping F-bombs. Don't judge me. I told you, we keep it real here, okay? So I'm not judging you. You don't judge me. Okay. Where are we at here? Okay, so this is kind of cool. When I was just thinking on like the heart being the root system and all of that, I was like, wait a minute, that sounds so much like optic atrophy. Now, if you are new here, I was born with something, an eye defect called optic nerve atrophy. I'm actually considered to be legally blind. I do have some useful sight, but I was like, whoa, this like fits in perfectly. So what optic nerve atrophy is, so I have optic nerves. We all have optic nerves. Some of mine are dead. So if you think of roots that are dead, if you have a tree that's like half dead, it's like maybe half producing, half not, right? Okay, so again, my eyes, my optic nerves, some of them are just dead. So what I see is always blurry. I live in a blurry world. Yes, I'm still seeing, but nothing is clear. Nothing is what it is supposed to be. It doesn't matter what I do, and it doesn't matter how hard I try. I cannot make myself see. There's nothing I can do about it unless God came and healed my optic nerve. Now, wouldn't that be amazing? Could you imagine if you showed up one day and I was like, guess what? I can see. I mean, that would be so next level. Anyways, okay, bring it back to the example, right? So again, if our heart roots, your optic nerve roots, if they are not healed and you got some dead guys in there, what you see is going to be forever distorted. I mean, honestly, even bring it back to the last episode when we were talking about the different parts of the soil of our heart. It's the exact same thing, really. This is just new imagery. You guys know I love imagery. But if you have a garden and half of the garden is great and amazing soil, good. You're going to have like fruit producing over there, and you're going to have a garden. That would be your soul, right? You're going to see the evidence of the work done inside. Meanwhile, if over here you have this rock hard path that you haven't done any work on, because we talked about it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get out those thistles. It's a lot of work to dig. It is a lot of work. Not going to lie, right? But if we're not going to do the work, then there's always going to be that part of us that's literally developing nothing. There's no fruit over here. So then we're always living like lopsided. Could that work? I mean, could a garden be lopsided? I don't know. Fruit heavy over here, dead over there. I don't know, but you get the picture, right? Okay. I'm going to give you another imagery, same example. So I was also thinking about this, and I was like, what if we could see, what if our heart wounds and everything, not even just wounds, our heart beliefs, our anger, our hatred, our bitterness, our justified fill in the blank, okay? Our addictions, right? Our methods of self-soothing. What if those were all on the outside of our physical body, and you were walking around, and maybe you'd see somebody with like a leg trailing behind them and their arm hanging off, and maybe you'd see like me, I'll use me as an example, throw me under the bus. If I had this big gash, big gushing, oozing gash, and you were like, Shell, what's going on? Like, did you know you had a big wound hanging out on your arm there? And and I said, well, yeah, I know. That happened in my youth. I went through a lot of like messy church abuse stuff. Like it was really bad. I'm still holding on to that. I don't want to let go. Like I'm justified in keeping this wound. Yeah, it oozes sometime because I get really angry, and you were like, okay, but like you're oozing and nasty and gross. And I just kept telling you I wanted to keep it. Okay? Like, would we do that? Or if somebody came up to you and said, did you realize you're dragging your one leg behind you? Do you ever feel stuck? Do you ever feel stuck? Maybe you're dragging something behind you that doesn't need to be there. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not making light of what we've been through, because as well as I do, that we live in a world at war. There is a devil, and he hates us. And from the minute we were born, he had a plan to destroy God's plans and purposes for our lives. Okay? I'm not discrediting that. I'm just wanting you to get visuals of those moments. So for me, again, I use church hurt because I went through a lot of it. And guess what? I've done a lot of work. And Jesus has come and helped me work through that. And, here's the thing too. Like, he's gentle. He's not going to be like, oh, look at what you're carrying around. Why you got that big thing? Why you got that big gash? Why would you want, he doesn't do that. He doesn't like call the whole team in and get the operating table. Like, he's so gentle and he's so kind. And if you don't know that Jesus, then I'm going to say, like, side note, go back to, I think it starts in episode 4. We did 4 episodes talking about how kind Jesus is with our hearts. And I mean, I used all examples of women because, well, we're women mostly that are listening to this. But he's so kind, and he just speaks truth. He gives us love, and he gives us grace. So here's the thing. As I mentioned before, when we're aware of the hurt, when maybe the thoughts come up, when maybe the desire to self-soothe, the anger, the bitterness, just stop. Just take that one little pause and say, wait, Jesus, I don't want this big gash on my arm anymore. I don't want these dead roots in my heart. I don't want this hard walking path to be a part of my heart. Would you come in and meet me here and help me work through this and bring healing? And I promise you he will. And it doesn't have to be super complicated, because I'm going to tell you. So I read this book, and I've always kind of like had a hard time understanding like the point? Like, why are we in this crazy world? It's really hard. It's really difficult. There's lots of terrible people, lots of terrible things going on. And like, why? And there's an amazing book. I will put the link in the description and maybe I'll put it in the comments. It's called The Sacred Romance. And it really just brought so much clarity for me and understanding that God's heart is for me to be whole, and he will pursue me, like we learn in Psalm 139, to the ends of the earth. And that's the goal. And I think that's the joy in it too. And that's the hope, like knowing we don't have to walk around with this hurt anymore. And, maybe you need a professional involved, but at the same time, we have Jesus. And if we have nothing else, Jesus is enough. I'm going to share something like pretty like personal with you. Might be like a little new to you, might sound different. Like I've talked about the Wild at Heart ministry. I've learned a lot from there and I've grown a lot. And again, I'll just link some really good books. There's an app called the Pause app. And one of the things they walk you through is this concept. This is where I learned this. I didn't make this up. The inviting Jesus in was from books and doing these different morning and evening, just communion with God and finding that union. So anyways, okay. So just walk through this with me. One evening, so it was during one of the evening sessions, and it's really good music, there's scripture and everything, and it's like, just inviting Jesus in. Jesus, is there anywhere that I need healing? So I wasn't going into this with anything in my head. Like I had kind of like not really expectations. I was just like, it's a really nice thing to do. I do it laying in bed at night, and half the time I fall asleep, but this time I did not. And I was just laying there, and then all of a sudden I saw in my mind's eye a image of, it was myself. I could see myself. And then beside me was Jesus. I'm going to assume it was him. And I was in the foyer of my church growing up as a youth. And it was all very clear. Like I could even tell you what I was wearing. So I kind of like was aware of the age as well. And right away, my breathing changed. Like I was like uber calm. Like I was laying there and my breathing changed and it shortened. And I felt anxiety like instantly. And I was like, whoa, okay. Like, so anyways, I just watched myself, and then as I watched myself, like my breathing just started to calm and nothing was said. It was just me and Jesus standing there. And then I just left and I just saw myself like walking down a hall and looking in different rooms. And it was just, I would say what it was it was Jesus being in that space with me again and saying, it's okay. You're safe. I am here with you. Let's get this healed. Let's take this part of you where for whatever reason I had the trauma, right? I had the anxiety. Like there's probably still layers in there. Okay. We got layers. And then this is kind of funny. And then I remember just looking in the back room and I was like, okay, this interesting. And like, by this time, like my heart rate was calmed down. And I mean, I don't know. I just assumed Jesus was still in the foyer. And then all of a sudden I had like the craziest memory come to mind. And it was a funny memory where it's just like, and I couldn't have made it up. And that's how I know it was God, because like all of this was just like so random and so like vivid. And it was just a really funny memory. And I just laying there in bed and I'm like back in this space and I just have a big stupid grin on my face, trying not to laugh because my husband's laying in bed beside me. And I was just thinking, I was like, you're right. There was some good times too. And I tell you what, that just even doing that, it was so gentle and it was so kind of him to stand there with me. Oh, Mikesy, you think you're over this crap and like, but the gentleness of He didn't need to say anything, but just saying, it's okay, Shell. I was always there. Let's not hold on to hurt. Let's not hold on to whatever it is, even that's making me cry at the moment. Let's move on, because he wants for me, for you, for us to be whole, and for us to be in that space of just living in freedom. I mean, once we deal with these things, guys, and once we deal with these hurts, and I am not telling you it's easy. I know it's not, okay? Like, we have all been through so much. But once we begin just a little, even just little bits like that, and we begin to heal, that union continues to grow, and it continues to grow, and then it just continues to flow outside of our life. Just like the heart is the wellspring, we become that river that's supposed to flow out of us. You know, the river of life, everything the river touches lives, the river of joy. I feel like there's a song in my head, you know, that like, I'm going to go all Pentecostal, and you know, I was born like into Pentecostal, but that like, I found a new way of living. I found a new life divine. Oh yeah, I found a new way of living. I'm abiding in the vine. Okay, I'm not singing anymore, but you know, you're welcome. Give me a comment if you know that song. Write the next one. Write the next line. Abiding in the vine, abiding in the vine. Love, joy, health, peace, he has made them mine. Okay, like you're there with me, right? But that's the promise. Okay, I cannot believe he just made me sing that. I do weird things when I'm talking to my phone alone in a room. Okay. Anyways, honestly, I think that's it. I'm going to leave you with that song. We are going to continue on this journey. I mean, if you're here, I'm just saying, guys, do it. Do it with me. Take the baby step. Say the yes, and just be like, I don't want this grossness. And let's face it, like, we know when it's there, because we feel like the anger, the bitter, the hatred, the whatever. You know the word. I don't. Like, we all have it. We all go through it. Let's not continue to sit at it. Let's not continue to park at it. Let's not continue to have conversations with this. Let's just say, like, and literally, I know, like, it is really hard, because we've all been through so many things and awful things. Some of us, that was not at all our fault. So I would say the kindest thing at that very exact moment when you feel as it's like, Jesus, this hurts, this hurts, this hurts. Just come be with me here. Keep it so simple. And that's where he starts, and he meets you there, because that's where he wants us to be whole and to be healed. So before I get myself crying again, I think we are going to leave it here. I'm working on an episode for next week. Or all my time off, it kind of like really did take time off. Now I'm like, oh, but you know what? It's fine. Like, God is always just like, this is what we're talking about. And like I said, like, I have an episode scheduled, and it just keeps getting bumped. And when the time is right, it'll show up. But for now, I think we're going to sit on this, and we're just going to keep unpacking this. And I actually didn't even share with you kind of some of the stuff I went through during my time off. And wow, the crazy things God showed me about me and my layers. That story I showed, that actually happened before. I got more stories for next week. Okay. So, just a reminder that the declarations are there in the comments. Click the link, get the download. It's amazing. And honestly, you do have to put your email in to get the download, but like, don't freak out. Honestly, like, I have so much fun writing my emails. They're literally like, I just tell you stories. I make you laugh. I make you cry. I have so many people that are like, I love your emails. Like, they're just like, they're my heart talking to you, just like I'm sitting here talking to you. That's what it is. It's not spam or anything. So don't stress about that. I mean, you can always unsubscribe. Please don't. But if you wanted to, you certainly could. Okay. So, sorry, kind of bear with me. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to leave it at that. And I know you're going to have a good week because guess what? God is always in pursuit of your heart. Read Psalm 139. You can't run. You can't hide. He created you. He made you for a purpose. You're watching this for a reason. Sorry, not sorry. Now I sound evil. I am a little bit evil sometimes. Okay, let's pray it out. And then I'm going to see you next week. And we'll see what God has to say. Okay. God, thank you so much for just being so kind and so gentle and always just meeting us where we are at. And thank you that you love us and you pursue us and that you find each one of us so amazing and so beautiful and so perfectly and wonderfully made. I ask that you would just be with all of these people watching and that you would just meet them where they need the healing, and we would start this healing journey and finding that union with you. I pray that you would give us courage, that you would give us that strength, and just remind us that, Psalm 23, you will lead us by still waters and you will restore our souls. Again, thanks. Thanks for all this. Pray it all in your name. Amen. All right. Thanks for being here and see you next time.